What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Tony Shen. I'm back with another stock plugin tutorial for FL Studio. If you're new to this channel, this is basically a series where I make beats only using FL Studio stock plugins. So like all the plugins that come free with FL Studio when you first download it. And the reason I'm doing this is because I know there's producers out there who are just trying to get started and learn the basic ropes of production who don't have $500 to drop on the newest version of Omnisphere or whatever, right? So with that being said, today we're gonna make a 42 DUGG type beat. I've been listening to a lot of his songs and I think he's got good potential to like stay consistent and blow up. So today we're gonna make a 42 DUGG type beat. So yeah, before I get to this tutorial though, if you're new to this channel and you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, be a part of the Tony Shen community. Yeah, I have tons of more tutorial content coming out and I really appreciate you giving me some support, you know, dropping a comment on this video, dropping a like. And in return, I like to hook you up with my free drum kit, Tony Shen Slap Pack Volume 1. This is a drum kit that we're going to be using in this tutorial, so you know that every single sound used in this video is something that you have easy access to that you can obtain for free. So with that being said, let's get straight to the tutorial. So we're going to start out by pulling this instrument, this free VST called Citrus. And we're going to pull up this preset called Angelic Whistle, because you already know we're going with that whistly sound, right? That's like that signature 42 DUGG sound. So to start, I like to set the tempo to like a little bit slower, right? Because it's a little bit slower and dark and just that type of energy. So we're gonna start like around 122 BPM ish, and then you want to think of a really catchy whistle type melody. So like da 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 da, something like that, right? Yeah. If you record that. Again, you don't need to have a MIDI key to be able to do this. Like you can just think of a melody and then place it on the piano roll, but it's just a lot faster if I just play it on the MIDI keyboard. So I'm just gonna record the automation and clip, and then 2, 3. As you can see, it's pretty simple, right? We're gonna clean it up a little bit. Let's see, set this to half step and then Command Q to quantize. Ooh. Drag this to like 4 bars. Ooh. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, and then press Control B, so like highlight this section, right, and then Control B to copy it to the next bar, so you don't have to like, so it's just a lot faster, right? And then you can even do this for 8 bars, right? So just Command A, or Control A, Command A if you're on Mac, but Control A and then Control B again. So now we have this basic whistle type melody, right? It's pretty catchy. Meets all of our criteria, catchy and whistle, right? Now let's find a clap. So we're gonna use Tony Shen Slap Pack Volume 1. And we're gonna find some claps. I'm gonna use this clap. Do 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 do. And then again, same thing. So just highlight this portion right here, and then Command B. Super shortcut, right? Makes your workflow a lot quicker. Then let's work on our hats. So we're gonna use a closed hat. Use the focus hat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna record it into my computer, into like the automation directly. So it's like you can have like a sense of the swing yourself, and it's a little like more interesting than just, you know, programming the hi-hats. You could like, you know, just fill 2 steps and then like add different stuff and change patterns, but that gets a little bit boring sometimes, and I kind of want to spice things up today. So we're going to record it into our computer directly. Now, it's actually really easy to do. All you have to do is press the Q button. That's pretty much like C5, which is like your default, like if you click anything in here, it sets it to C5. Pressing Q basically hits the same note for you. You can kind of turn your keyboard into like an MPC, right? Which is pretty cool. So just hit the record button and then notes and automation like we did earlier. Oh, and before we press space, it's helpful to turn on the metronome, especially when you're doing drums, just so that you can keep time and like not rush or drag, because it's easy to like get messed up when doing hi-hats. Okay, so it appears that we only did it for the second half of the loop, but it's okay. So Command Q to quantize it to the grid, and then, you know, we can just copy this, right? So now we have a nice little hi-hat pattern. Okay, let's actually quantize this to step. And we can fill in some stuff in ourselves, so Command Q again to quantize, right? And then press Shift and then drag to kind of copy the note. I'm just teaching you these shortcuts. And then at the end we can have a roll. So set this to quarter step because we want it to be like a quick roll, right? And then extend it to like however long you want the roll to be. Then Command drag to like select the note, and then Command U to articulate. We can add one more note here. And then we're gonna add some snares just to give it more bounce, so like some secondary snares that come in between the main clap to give it more rhythm, right? So we use the Cloud 9 snare for my drum kit. All these sounds are literally in the download link. It takes like 3 seconds to go download it right now. So and then we're just gonna copy that for the second half. So yeah, these snares will give you that bounce. Let's throw these in the mixer. To throw it in the mixer, it's really easy. Just double click to select all the tracks here, and then go to your first insert track, and then Command Shift L, or if you're on PC, which is most of you, I'm assuming, Control Shift L. And then you can turn down the angelic whistle down just a little bit because, yeah, it does get a little bit overpowering, especially when you account for the vocals. And you want your drums to like cut through everything else. So just level your sounds a little bit. Okay, so now the most fun part, we're gonna work on the 808. This is the part you've all been waiting for, right? We use the Drones 808. It's that nice stubby 808 that you would hear in a lot of his beats anyways. And I think it's just becoming more and more popular now. So do, you know, a basic pattern. Again, we can record it. Actually, let's record it, because, you know, your first instinct when recording things, especially when it comes to rhythmic stuff like your drums and your 808s, that's going to be the best bounce that you're going to get. And that's going to be the most rhythmic. And I think it's always going to sound better than if you just click here, because eventually you're going to get used to clicking into one specific pattern and it's going to get repetitive. So that's why I think if you can, just record it into your computer, record the automation. It's going to sound a lot more natural, if you know what I mean. So click this, notes and automation, and then you can turn the metronome on, but you don't really have to. Now press space to start. Duh, duh, duh. Hear that bounce? By the way, I'm just pressing Q right now. I know with the 808 you still have to change the notes to fit your melodies and stuff, but right now I'm just getting the bounce of the 808 down, so everything's just in C right now. And before we actually get to start on the melody for the 808, a few housekeeping items. One, you want to tune your 808, so Command E to open up, or Control E if you're on Windows, to open up Edison, and then click the flag, detect pitch regions, and then you want to make sure that this note is the same as the note that's on highlighted in blue in this keyboard right here. So if this said D2, you would just right click here to select D, right? Since it's C, we're gonna move it back to C. And then second thing you want to do after you tune it is to create this envelope, because otherwise, if you didn't have this envelope on, if you just, it was just the default, right? If you kept pressing notes, it's gonna leak into the next notes. It sound muddy. You don't want that. Open up the envelope so when you release the note, it doesn't leak into the next note. So with that being said, here's what we have. And then see, it's a little bit offset right now. You want your bass to be on time, so Command Q to quantize, and actually quantize it to the step, because yep, there we go. And yeah, now let's just match the actual melody being played. So it looks like it's G here, so we're literally just gonna match our 808 to the G. So oh, and you see how all those 808s are kind of like, you know, short. And if you want a way to like extend all these notes really quickly, just Control L or Command L if you're on Mac, and then that'll extend all the notes to touch the next note. Shortcut. And this goes to D, so we can also, you know, play D here. And this is what? E flat, so see how we're just following the notes and like comparing which notes we could add at like different sections based on our other melody. Move these notes down actually. And then we could distort this 808 a little bit more, because I know 42 DUGG beats, the 808s smack a lot harder. So let's add some distortion to this to just bring it out more and just make it sound, you know, a lot, not soft clipper, distortion. Fruity fast distort. You hear how that's a lot more present and has more energy and more punch when you distort it. This is when you mix all the way. You don't want that, because it's gonna sound like too abrupt and like too explosive. Just, you know, like a nice 50%-ish. Pretty much the entire beat. Just kidding. We need one more thing, which is a piano, like a low dark piano. So let's open up Citrus and let's find a piano sound in Citrus. Grand. Doesn't sound all that realistic. We want more like a realistic sounding piano, so realistic. That sounds pretty dark. And it sounds pretty reverby, which is something we want. We want something really spacious and dark. And for this, we can literally just follow the first note here. And then maybe add another octave to make it sound. And we're just gonna have a piano hit every other bar. we're just following the notes here. The second half we can lower it down an octave. Okay, so now let's give this a little mix. So let's throw those in the mixer as well. The piano. It's a little bit loud, so let's turn it down. And then also when it gets to like the lower octave in the second half, we want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the bass. So we want to throw in a little EQ to like cut out the bass. So otherwise, if there's too much bass going on here, it's going to interfere with their 808 and it's going to make the lower half sound a little bit unclear and dirty, and we don't want that. Yeah. Just to give it an extra layer of bounce, let's just add an open hat. Super easy. Just add the open hat and then arrange it, and then we're done with this beat. One last thing, I think if we add a little bit of distortion on the whistle, it'll make it sound a little bit dirtier and maybe even a little bit more realistic, like a real whistle, right? Yeah, it definitely sounds better. Just a little bit of distortion, not too much, right? So now the final step is just to arrange. It's super easy. Right now everything's in one pattern, so just right click here and then split by channel. And then now you have all the separate channels, you know, by themselves. So it's a lot easier for you to arrange. And we're going to keep it simple, right? Like, you know, 42 Doug, he likes to come in right away. So we can literally just make the drop, like, on bar 1. So, like. And clap start. And then all the drums. Cut out all the drums. And then cut everything except for this. That's like your hook, right? This is your verse. You have another hook here. That's the whole beat. Super simple, right? Sorry guys, my camera just turned off for some reason. But yeah, that's the whole beat. As you can see, I kept it simple on purpose. Like, I could have added more stuff to it, but I just don't think it's necessary for this type of beat. And I know as a new producer coming up, as a new beat maker, when you're first beginning, it's really like it's really tempting to try to like add everything, right? Just to make it your own and add more layers and layers and stuff. But when it comes to like beats that really appeal to certain artists, you want to keep it simple and you want to give them a lot of room. So with that being said, I'd like to demo the beat for you guys, but before I do that, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a like if you found anything to be useful in this, and drop a like, drop a comment on what I should do next. And with that being said, let's play this beat.